What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how we doing on this fabulous Friday morning?
Doing good, man. Is it bad to say I'm a big fan of global warming? Are you allowed to say that? Is that controversial?
Sure.
Because it's been nice as hell outside lately, bro. Like, we really haven't had a winter, kind of, at least here in Hoboken, NJ. But yeah, dude, doing
Yeah.
good. Weather's good. So I got the natural. I'm such a sucker for spring fever. Like, good weather outside, good mood for good old Danny boy. How you doing, Pat?
Yeah, no, I'm great. The weather's nice, and we're inching closer and closer to Yankees baseball being back. So how could you be upset, right?
Yeah, how could you be upset? I mean, unless there were some potentially very severe injuries going on in the world of the Yankees. So let's hear it.
Speaking of that, let's get right into topic number one. Dan, we talked about Frankie Montas a couple weeks ago when it was announced that he was probably going to miss the first month of the season or so with an injury. Now it has been confirmed by Aaron Boone that Frankie Montas will undergo shoulder surgery later this month, and most likely he's going to be out for the season. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like consensus here, unless something miraculous happens. But are you still viewing the Yankees rotation in the same dominant light that we were? Once the Yankees on Rodon, we were looking at like the greatest starting five of all time.
Yeah, I am, because the way I see it is it's all about October. And to be honest, unless he really balled out and the series played out this way, there's a chance the Yankees don't even pitch Frankie Montas in a playoff series, even in a best of seven, because a lot of times you only need four starters. So that being the case, you still have the lethal 1 through 4 of Cole, Rodon, Nestor, Sevy. To me, that's what like the moneymaker was. Montas just being at the end, that was kind of like a bonus. I guess just saying, being able to say, yo, Frankie Montas is our fit. The depth, though, is an issue. And that was an issue even when Montas was around, because you look at last year, the Yankees, they used 12 different starting pitchers last year. And if you get past Clark, you get past Domingo, who do you really have? There's David Garcia, there's Matt Crook. The next in line after that would probably be Johnny Brito, who might even be first line over those two. I'm not sure. Johnny Brito is kind of a stud. Am I forgetting
Is
somebody?
Heel still hurt?
Heel is going to be hurt through at least the first half. So
Did he get Tommy John?
he had Tommy John last year. Yeah. So
No.
you're looking at least the first half without him. But yeah, so Johnny Brito's a nice piece, like a 24-year-old who's made like 15 starts in AAA.
Ken Waldichuk? Oh, wait. No, never mind.
That's the most bummer part about the Montas situation. Isn't like him not being on the roster in that itself, but it is the return that we gave up for him. Because yeah, if you took some of those pieces, you might have been able to have Brian Reynolds be playing left field right now. So from that aspect,
Yeah.
it's a little more frustrating than like my concern on the field. But if there was a concern, and there is, it's the depth for sure. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think that's very fair because I mean you look at the Yankees starting four now, and it's elite, right? You're looking at Cole, Rodon, Sevy, Nestor. That's probably, if not the best, one of the best starting four in all baseball. But then you look at five, Domingo Germán, okay. And then you look at everything after Domingo Germán, like God forbid the Yankees have another injury, which is highly likely considering the fact that Nestor has injury problems, Sevy has injury problems, and you need Rodon and Cole to stay healthy for the entire season. But God forbid one of those guys goes down. Who do you call on? Do you bring in Clark Schmidt from the bullpen? Do you convert Michael King back to a starter? Do you give Debbie Garcia another chance? Like the options are kind of just nothing seems cement. If another injury arises. So I mean it's not a concern as of right now in terms of, oh no, we lost Frankie Montas. It's a concern as in, oh no, this can be a problem if another pitcher goes down.
1000%. And I think that's really what the issue is, right? Because the 1 through 4 now, everything has to go perfect. If you don't have one of them going into October, and it's kind of like the situation the Yankees offense last year. At the deadline, they're healthy. 2 weeks later, you're beat. So if one of those guys are going to get hurt, you better hope it's before the July 31st trade deadline or August
Yeah.
1st trade deadline, because if not, then Herman as your fifth isn't bad. But if he's starting playoff games, then that's some trouble right there. So
Gleyber Torres has arrived to camp early, and he was asked about possible extension talks, and he said, I want to stay my whole career with the Yankees. I mean, listen, the Glaber also said something about how he's been avoiding social media since November because there was too many trade rumors going on. It seems like the trade rumors are the kryptonite to Gleyber Torres' existence, right? Because in last summer we saw that Glaber's fall off in what was it, in August was
yeah,
kind of due to the trade rumors swirling around in July, and it seems to be something that clearly impacts him a lot. So I'm looking at it in terms of we spoke about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. But I view Gleyber Torres as super expendable on the New York Yankees, just in terms of I don't see him having a long-term future. I don't think that both sides are kind of in a great situation relationship-wise. But I think like every single quote that we get from Gleyber Torres just further assures this thought process in my head. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like when I hear stuff like this, it just bothers me. Just because, listen, I know I'm not a Major League Baseball player, but I can't understand guys being affected by trade rumors. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. And also, Gleyber, like, you're not the only player who experiences trade rumors, right? Especially in the grand scheme of things. There's so many other guys out there that have much deeper trade rumors and much more frequent trade rumors.
I don't know
The
about that
fact
part.
that
Gleyber's have been pretty frequent, but I hear you're saying, go
no,
on.
but I'm saying, like, I feel like there's definitely been circumstances in the past, let's say, where players have been thrown around in trade rumors a lot more than Gleyber Torres is. And it doesn't seem like they use it publicly as an excuse for anything. If he wants to be impacted by it, sure. I just don't want to know about it because then it's like a weird image.
All right. So I think I definitely can agree with you on there's an issue with Gleyber feeling like a lack of security within the organization. And one thing I do agree with you on is just the vibe that it is unacceptable. And I think just kind of whether he said it or we've heard it leaked out before as to why he hasn't played all that great. I mean, I always bring it up and I actually have the stats this time to fully back it up. But if you take out August last year, which is right after the trade rumors, in 115 games, 275, 22 home runs, and a 135 OPS plus in 115 games. So like Gleyber Torres, I've said it a million times, I know, but he was for 5 out of 6 months last year, the best version of Gleyber Torres that I personally have ever seen. Now, is it ideal that he's affected by these trade rumors? No. Is it ideal that he's like always focused on his security with this team when he still has 2 years left to control? No. But with that being the case, and this is going to wow you, Pat, I think the solution here is I think you should extend Gleyber Torres. I do. Want to know why? The floor is a top 10 second baseman because I consider overall numbers last year, that's his floor. With 2019 Gleyber, 2021, 5 out of the 6 months, or 2022 rather, this dude is a top 5 second baseman in the league. So with that potential ceiling and the fact that you can get him probably on a cheap deal with buying 2 years of arbitration out, if you were to offer, I'm telling you, sit tight here, Pat. This is kind of crazy. An 8-year deal, $17 million a year, $140 million. That might pay off massively for the Yankees. I know that sounds crazy, but you give them security, which might help them. And at the very least, you're paying $17 million a year for, let's just say you get his 2022 overall production, which in the end was like a 115 OPS plus with that bad August, 25 homers and the good defense now. An 8-year deal would take him through age 34. So I'm just saying with the security, the fact that he's already a pretty solid player, a top 10 second baseman at the least, with the ceiling of potentially being a top 5. So that's where I go. I know total flip from where you were at, but I'm saying the Yankees should extend Gleyber Torres.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that the Yankees shouldn't extend him. I'm more so in the boat of, bro, I don't want to hear like complaining. You know what I mean?
Totally. And I'm not saying I wasn't just coming up with that extension thing because Gleyber said, I wish, which by the way, I do kind of appreciate that. You guys know how I am. I love when players want to be a Yankee and Gleyber Torres. And that's part of it as well with me thinking he might take a $140 million contract because in some senses, like his vibe is putting off, maybe he'll take a hometown discount. I don't know. He could be worth more than that. He might say no, but he's shown he wants to be a Yankee. And that's something that I can appreciate. It's not also, he hasn't exactly been like a diva the way he's gone about it. It's just kind of been a little mopey. He's been a little like, he has that sad puppy dog look in his face sometimes, which isn't
bro.
A little bit. But what I'm saying is it's not like he's like rubbed my feathers too wrong way where I want him gone. It's just like a little bit annoying that trade rumors play apparently such a part in his play. But I'm telling you, man, crazy, I know, to say throw an 8-year extension at him being the solution, but I really think it might be the way to go. And this is something I was already thinking about, like this aside, should you extend Gleyber Torres for the play alone? So, I mean, it might be too late now because the negotiations are done, but it's something the Yankees could still maybe entertain.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'd completely shoot down, but I don't know. I guess like maybe I'm just not in love with Gleyber Torres like other people are, but I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be necessarily upset if we found out tomorrow that the Yankees signed him to an 8-year, $144 million.
Do you think he would take that? 2 years left of control, so you got to factor that in. You're not getting market value.
Probably.
I think so too. I think that's fair.
I think he would. Yeah.
If not, I mean, maybe a cap of like I would go up to maybe 160 over 8, and then that would put him at I think like 19 a year.
But let me tell you, like
20 a year.
considering like an 8-year extension, just the things that I brought up and the things you brought up, right? Like the mopiness. That's something, and that's like a personality trait from a player that concerns me about giving them an 8-year extension, right? The mopiness. Do you really want to
There's
give
not
an
enough of
8-year
it though.
extension?
It's not as bad as I'm telling you, unless I have like short-term memory loss or shit, long-term memory loss now with how long he's been here. But dude, I don't remember it being anything too bad. There's been moments for sure. And to me, really the only thing here that sticks out in my brain is the whole thing about the trade rumors and then he shit the bed for a month after. That to me is laughable. That's unacceptable. Probably like the worst part of Gleyber's Yankee tenure that happened or whatever. But like, there's a lot more Gary moments than there have been Gleyber moments. Gleyber or Gary had a bunch, whether it's the tag or just I don't gotta go through, but I don't feel that way with Gleyber. I don't think Gleyber's been all that bad, man. Especially the good I think has outweighed the bad. The only bad to me is what I just said about the trade rumors, and then really just his 2021 overall and his bad shortstop. But since 2022, Gleyber he's kind of back to me, man. He really is.
No, I want him to win me back. I want Gleyber Torres to win me back so bad. And he had me in the first half of last season. And then I completely like fell off the Gleyber bandwagon again after like he fell off. And then we heard the trade rumor thing, whatever. I want him to win me back. And I hope 2023 is the season Gleyber Torres redeems himself, not only for me, but for every other Yankee fan that loved him after the 2019 season. And they come back and Gleyber Torres gets extended and it's great. This probably makes you happy, Dan. ESPN has announced a series called The Yankees Win. It's an 8-part documentary, quote unquote, covering every important aspect of the 2017 World Series champions. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, I'm going to be honest, just based on the little description, I'm not too sure on what it is. It just seems like it's like a Yankeeography of like the history of the Yankees, but maybe you have some more info.
Well, I mean, I read the article put out by MLB.com, actually, and they said multi-part documentary produced in partnership with Major League Baseball takes fans behind the scenes into the clubhouse while covering the Yankees from every angle, the titles, the drama, the rivalries, and, of course, the star power. It features never-before-seen footage as well as interviews with players, managers, coaches, executives, writers, commentators, and fans, which is BS, bro. If there's fans on there, I should be on there, just saying.
Yeah, wait, what?
I mean, I'm being half sarcastic, but I am curious. Like, yo, there are fans on this documentary. I should know them. I should know a couple of them. So just putting out this. But yeah, so I think it's just gonna be like The Captain, essentially, the same way it's like 8-part or 8 chapters to it, but it's gonna be over the whole Yankees franchise history, which I think is pretty cool. Most of the fact of, I think putting this shit into like a video consumption format, if that makes sense, is a brilliant idea for the younger generation of fan because. How many times have I brought up this fucking book that I'm reading? Maybe like 4 times. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm just saying, like, if I fucking say to my nephew Johnny or some shit, I'm like, yo, read this to learn about the Yankees. I don't actually have a nephew named Johnny. None of my siblings have kids, but just saying, This doesn't look all that appealing. But if you can just turn on a little fucking documentary thing, which have been very successful so far with The Last Dance and The Captain, putting all that history into an 8-chapter docuseries, I think could be pretty sick. So I'm looking forward to it. Pat, how do you feel? Are you wildly excited for this? Are you very curious about the history of the New York Yankees?
I'm extremely indifferent. Now, dude, I mean, listen, I think it's cool, right? It's an 8-part documentary on the history of the Yankees. Very nice, very entertaining for those who are interested in that. I will not be watching. That's just, it's not my cup of tea, bro. I'm not a huge fan.
Fair enough. And yo, let me just say something, which is not that fucking half the people that were commenting actually believed it, but Pat is a very diehard Yankee fan. If you guys didn't know that, like he does live and breathe the team just as much as I do. I just happen to be a little bit more of like a history nerd with it. So, hey, you brought up the American comparison a couple of weeks ago, right? How like something to do with if you love America, you should love George Washington. Still think that was a silly analogy, right? But to use that analogy in this case, me and Pat feel vehemently the same about America. We love America to death. I just happen to love George Washington in this scenario. Pat doesn't really care,
Sure. But so, I will say, regarding like the documentary, I guess, like I would have been so interested in this if it was like an 8-part documentary of the 2023 Yankees season, right? Like, let's just say they had camera crews following the Yankees, like behind the scenes, and they were getting like Jersey Shore interviews from the players, like, like those confidential interviews where they're like, I think that would be awesome just because I'm in love with the current day's product. And I think that would just be like awesome. So.
What you want is the 2023 World Series film, because that's exactly what that is. Like, have you seen the 2009 World Series? Have you ever watched them, by the way?
I did.
Yo,
I did.
have you
I
seen
had
the
that on
'09
DVD.
World Series film? Okay, because that's awesome. Like, I think even like you would be able to enjoy that because that's more modern. It's
Sure.
HD as well, which is
Sure.
nice. But like, no, I long for the day where for many other reasons as well, but for the fact of getting the World Series film, dude, that's one of the many perks of winning it all to me, because those things are always sick. MLB Productions, man, they put out some good stuff. They really do. They don't do it often, but like the MLB, like I don't think it's called that anymore. But like when they do put out like some good documentaries, they had a Griffey one a couple years ago, not ESPN, but just talking like MLB themselves.
MLB
The Griffey one, it's weird. There's MLB like Productions, which they changed the name to just like MLB Media or something like that. Whatever the MLB head of video is, when they do put out stuff, which is like I feel like every couple years, it's usually really damn good, along with like the World Series films.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Now, dude, this might go off on a totally different tangent here, but could you watch a baseball game in black and white?
I have. I did literally like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago. Yeah. Like on Yankee Classics and stuff too. But like, what do you mean? Are you saying like a throwback, or like say for some reason opening day was in black and white?
No. I'm talking like 1928 World Series.
Oh, totally. Because that's all you ever know. You don't. Same with like the first radio broadcast. I mean, the 28 World Series wasn't even on TV. It was on radio broadcast though.
Have you listened to it?
No, they just talked about it in the book I'm reading. Do you want to know what book I'm reading, Pat? Just kidding. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
We're not sponsored by them, so no. But yo, moving on to the next topic, Dan. This is something that I really want to bring up, and I told you I really wanted to bring it up. Gary Sanchez was seen on Instagram like 2 days ago at this point, working out in New York Yankees gear. Nothing made me more happy than seeing this, just because we talked about this. I think it was like one of the topics, like, oh, what Yankee won't come back, but you hope would. And I think both of us said Gary Sanchez or something. Bro, Gary is such a key part of just my heart, key part of my life. Seeing him come back to the Yankees would be a dream come true. However, I see it as highly, highly, highly unlikely.
Negative chance
that the Yankees have Trevino, also Higgy, and also Rourke vet, which we're gonna go in depth about him on a future episode. But how are you viewing this Gary workout video?
Dude, he's never coming back to the Yankees. And when I saw it the other day, I was pumped. First thing I commented saying, "Come home, Gary." And then somebody also responded saying the video may have been from last year. Not sure that's the case. All I know is this: it doesn't make sense for the Yankees to bring him back. They're not going to bring him back. There's no chance in hell. Just won't happen. But if I got the notification, Pat, there's no player I don't think I ever really loved outside of Judge and outside of A-Rod more than Gary Sanchez. So I would be stoked. I could envision, I always talk about my franchise. If I were to say, take my franchise brain, put it into real life, DH could catch in a bind if you had him to. Hey, I think there's a world where you could have two catchers plus Gary Sanchez on your roster. Does it make sense? No, but you technically could do it. Hey, one day he'll be like 36, just came back with a bounce back year as a DH, then he'll sign back. Yeah. But right now, it's also too new, man. Like literally just a year ago, like this time he got traded, right? I mean, were we out of the lockout yet at this time last year? When was that? It was when I was going to Arizona. So that was like,
it was like in March.
Yeah. So that was like a fucking month from now, right?
Yeah.
Or a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of liked about last year, though, I will say? The spring training being like 3 weeks. I thought that was perfect. I was kind of hoping they would keep that.
I know.
But
the only thing that helps it this year is the World Baseball Classic. Kind of coincides, so it's fun.
Totally helps it, because I'm not going to watch fucking shit at spring training besides like I was thinking about going, by the way. Might do
spring training,
like a 2-day quick trip to Tampa. Yeah.
Let's go.
You're down?
We'll talk about it.
Andrew will be happy about that, but
yo, the one more thing I want to bring up about spring training. Two things about Garrett Cole. One, I don't know why his hair is so short. It kind of bothers me. It's kind of like a crew cut at this point. I need flowy Garrett Cole. And two, did you see his little quote? He was like,
well, I mean, we got waxed, so anytime you get waxed, it doesn't feel good, whether you're going to the salon or you're on the baseball field. So yeah.
Bro, Garrett Cole is the epitome of just, I love that man.
He's exactly what being funny without trying to be funny is. Like, he is the most, dude, somebody commented, it was so funny, true, too. It's like, imagine him and Pat Mahomes in the same room just because of their voice, dude. He has,
Pat Mahomes
I love him to
sounds
death.
More like Kermit than Cole.
No, but even Cole, he walks into spring training the other day. You know, they have those tunnel videos where they say hello to the
Yeah.
reporters and shit for the first time. He's like, "Hi, Marley." It's so fucking like, bro, that's my fucking
I
ace.
love him.
I love him to death, bro. And yo, I saw one motherfucker, forget his name, I would say it, but
That
on
was a
Twitter-
great impression, by the way.
that's how he sounds. It's also funny, everything to do with him and Marley Rivera, by the way. But yo, somebody was talking shit still about Cole the other day. I posted something about him and they were like fake ace. It's like, how can you still say this stuff? I thought we were
You
past that.
can't. No, you can't.
Yeah. Yo, let's get out of here, dude. It's been like fucking a 10-year show for a 4-episode show. Yo, socials, Pat, where can they find you?
Follow me on Instagram at True Hennessy. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Unhinged Patrick.
Word. Dan on Rourke on Twitter, Yankees Avenue on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that. Subscribe here as well on YouTube. We'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine.